Hey, what's up? This is Adrian from Dead Set Red and Check One Two Productions, and you are listening to Snow Time on Rock Range Radio.
Awesome, appreciate it. So, I saw the video of the wedding from Eric James. He sent me the video that you made. That was amazing. What was it like being there at his wedding and everything?
It was bad that I couldn't actually be a part of the wedding because it looked pretty fun. It was well put together, and it was like nice and macabre. There was like skulls everywhere and like just a darker wedding. Like some of us, they want like the nice white and pretty weddings, but then others want like a real edgy, cool wedding. And it was nice to see everything. A lot of people that I knew already. So it was good that he's a friend of mine, and his bandmates were there and they're friends of mine. And it was awesome to be a part of it. And my own family came to hang out too, so it's a good time.
That's really cool. Do you do a lot of that type of work with Check One Two, like weddings, or is it mainly like music videos and live shows?
Yeah, so initially it started off as just some kind of movement for musicians only, and like Check One Two was like my social media tag for a long time before it was ever a company name. So I would just have my username as Adrian Check One Two, and then later on, when I started doing music videos and live performance videos, just randomly, I didn't know what to call it. And then, one day I sat down and I started making logos, and I just landed on that. And I was like, why not just make it that? Because that's something people say at every show when they're checking the mic, and it's like it's a free plug right there. So
yeah, no, that's really cool. I can't go to a mic check without thinking about you now. It works.
No, yeah, that was like the main the main thing about that is like after I made it, then I started going to shows and seeing people check the mic, and it was like, dang, that was a really good like a lucky stroke right there. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's mainly geared towards musicians, and it's not, because a lot of people say that yes, musicians don't make any money, and it's true. We barely make anything, the original musicians. So I wanted to at least start outputting content for people and not charging them like an arm and a leg for production of it, when in all honesty all they want is like an epic video every now and again to share, to chop it up, and to make new promos and to show their family members and their friends. So it started off as a small production. That was my main target, is making small productions, and not full-blown music videos or full-blown full concert recordings. So there's a lot more activity back then, but now I'm doing a lot bigger projects, and I'm doing the wedding thing just because I wanted to see if I could do it, and I guess I can. So
I think you did a great job. That was one of the better wedding videos I've ever seen, honestly. I was like, damn, because like it was cool how you, like, most people when they go to an event, they just take pictures or footage of like the main attraction, like the obvious stuff, right? But I thought it was really cool how you were creative with like you appreciated the artistry that went into the flower arrangements and like the chandeliers and just like little things like that make it what it is, and like that, like it wouldn't be the same without it. And you would do like kind of that like panning or like kind of like video imagery with those types of things that like made for really cool B-roll.
Yeah, well, the main thing is, the person who's gonna buy this service, years down the line, they're gonna have photos and they're gonna have video, and for the photos, that's when you're gonna see, the groom and all the people lined up, the bride and all her bridesmaids lined up. You're gonna see like a picture of the cake, but at the end of the let's say your 10-year anniversary, you want to look at your video again, and those little things you won't remember. So I made sure that that every little detail was at least covered, with the food and the lapels or any little thing that's not obvious or whatever. So
Yeah, for sure. I definitely appreciate those details. Like that's really cool. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I just need to... Hey, I'm in the middle of a call. Okay.
I locked my door.
So I was just watching the Matter of Time music video right before we got on here, and I was wondering, like, when y'all do videos, and obviously if you're in the video, you're not behind the camera, but do you like get to put any input and like have any creative expression as far as like the technicality of like how the music video goes when, like, since you have that experience?
Yeah, for that, it all came down to the decisions we made in the very beginning, whether or not it was going to be a full-blown music video or it was just going to be a performance video. And I think, with the thing with COVID, it kind of like put a brick wall in front of us to where we filmed it to be a performance video, and then we decided it's kind of empty. Let's just put a story in there, some B-roll, and then boom, COVID like put a roadblock there, and we had to make a choice to just put it out like we initially planned, because we wanted to just kind of go in and go out, or jump in and jump out, and just show people something, like our hardest hitting song on there, and then let that speak for itself. But at the end of it, I was the director of that video alongside Kareem with Magic Studio, which if you haven't checked out Magic Motion Pictures, you should do so.
Yeah, I was
yeah,
yesterday actually.
Yeah, they did a great job. The only thing that I would say is that the planning before, like the amount of time we wanted or we needed, was nowhere near what we actually booked in the beginning. So we were always in a race against time, and then we extended it, and we were still in a race against time, and then we extended it again. So we ended up having like 6 hours, which what we should have done. But yeah, as far as the whole operation goes, we had so many people helping, and that really made everything great. We had JD from Indie Aftermath. He was running the projector. We had Weasel and Jesus, which is Dead Set Red's roadies, or our stage managers. They're gonna be pissed off when I say roadies, but we had so many hands on deck, and they all understood the true meaning of being a production assistant, because at the end of the day, it wasn't like, oh, let's give this idea to Adrian and Kareem, and oh, let's change this. Like, all they wanted to do is to be there for us, to be our extra hands, and just the vision that we had, that's what they wanted to help us capture. So, it's really great when you have people helping you that don't want to just rebuttal everything, and like they want to make sure that your vision comes out the way you want it. So yeah, it was a little hard to kind of direct that from in front of the camera. But I trusted them, and they did a great job at filming it, and then I cut it all together.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's really cool. That must help a lot when it comes to like saving on costs and stuff, when you're able to kind of be hands-on with that.
Yeah, but like you were saying, if I'm in the video, we can't really cut that much cost out.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense, because you got to have somebody manning the camera for sure. And y'all had a lot of different angles, I noticed, which was really cool. That like adds a whole element to it that makes it look highly professional.
Yeah, well, that's good. I think it's gonna be a lot better as we go, because we're partnered up with Magic Motion Pictures to basically go and attack these projects like I don't know. There's a few talks about making a full film or a short film and all that, and the art of Foley, which is recording the audio or sound after the fact. Chubbs, he wants to take on that role.
Before we kind of dive a bit more into Dead Set Red, as far as like music and shows and all that, I guess just to kind of wrap up the talking about film and stuff, I was talking to Blake Ralston of Out of Mind Imaginations the other day, kind of about like storyboarding, and we kind of had a similar conversation about how like it's good to lay down the framework when it comes to the performance video, and then sort of get the storyline segments. That way you can kind of use both, and so like you got your lyric videos, you got the performance videos, you got the storyline that sort of adds a narrative. I guess like what suggestions would you have when it comes to the creative process of incorporating the narrative aspect of a music video?
From a standpoint of like an artist or myself, like looking into a project, like, so that is one of like probably the most important things to do, is to basically map out your story. And I never did that going into making a few videos, but if you've seen the Hindsight video, it's called Where We Found Hope. There was a script, but there was no storyline, no storyboard, I mean. And ultimately, I got the concept in my head early on, but it wasn't entirely understood until we actually started filming it, and then later on it became perfectly clear what everything was about, how it fit together, and then that's when I pieced it together. That was the wrong approach to going about it, so I definitely would have painted the entire picture in front of me first, which right now, like, the easiest way to do that to me is, if you have Adobe Premiere, I don't know if you, or even like Final Cut or something, basically put your song in, and then as you go on, you go and put titles or captions to kind of say what you want, or you can even put JPEGs in to show pictures of what you want to see, as far as storyline goes.
Sort of mapping it out.
Yeah, you're basically mapping it out to where once it's done, you'll have a great story put together, and you didn't have to draw any pictures. You just put captions or put pictures. They could be stock photos, whatever, and then on the actual shoot, the editing floor, you'll know exactly what to put where, because you'll put your storyboard in there, and then you'll put all your footage on top, and then ultimately you'll just find out where you want to put those stories, where it says, and then you just drop in that B-roll, and it just works way better than like sitting there after the fact and just trying to come up with something,
That's smart. That's genius.
You run out of time when you do that, because you have a full performance, and then you're over there trying to put the story in, and you're going in order, like you're putting everything in here, and then by the time you're at the bridge or something, you run out of stuff, so you have to like space it all out, and then does it make sense at that point in the song to show this or that, so it's really useful to do everything before you even go out there and film.
Yeah, no, that's genius. That I can see it visualized in my head on like Premiere and everything, that like you're talking about putting it all in order like that. That's like super smart, because a lot of times you'll have all these ideas and they get so convoluted in your head, and then you're like, when it comes down to when you're actually like trying to do something and make something happen, it's like what's gonna work and what's not,
Yeah. And even planning out the performance part, that's important too. So like if you only have the performance and you have like a really awesome bass line that you like, the small tiny little piece that you want to highlight, you make sure that it says bass player or fretboard or something right there to show you, oh, I need to have a close-up shot of the fretboard. Things like that. And it's not only just storyline. It could be performance too.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that's really good insight that like a lot of people don't know, and I think a lot of people would be interested in like kind of getting in the head of a producer, you know, 'cause see how those thoughts come about and how like that magic happens, you know.
It takes time to learn it all, and most of it is by, you know, trial and error. So yeah, unless you know go and like I actually paid for some courses that kind of wave through all the BS of YouTube, where I kind of get exactly what I want in order instead of having to, you know, oh, what is this kind of audio input or whatever, you know, or like boom mics, and then oh, color grading. Like you have to have a full. I think I had about like a whole year's worth of free time that I could, you know, say that I spent on YouTube and just learning stuff, you know. So
Wow.
it's a lot.
That's a big commitment for sure.
Yeah,
So
it
as
is.
far as the band goes with Dead Set Red, like where do you personally see you guys going, you know, with the band and everything? Like what are your hopes and aspirations for where y'all could go as a band and what you could achieve?
So our main, you know, our main goal has never been like, um, you know, black and white. Like we want to make it and we want to like do this as a hobby. It's been a thing where we all want to be happy. We want to keep, we want to consistently put out music and make sure that it's good. And then, you know, when it comes down to it, we need to be able to market this music properly and get it in front of the right people. So, you know, there's a lot more to it. You know, it used to be, oh, let's hope that we're really good and let's send this music to some record label and then oh, we'll probably make it big. And now it's become, you know, evident that you can make so much more money just doing everything yourself and you know, making your own albums and or singles, you know, because you know we've gone to the point where we want to start making more singles than we are making EPs and albums, you know. And yeah, I guess the goal is to be consistent and be kind of have some kind of longevity. It doesn't really matter if it's, you know, we're making it big, but we do want to get on bigger shows, so we need to research what it takes to do that. So,
I got
and
you.
we're doing really well right now with Warehouse Live, and you know, we're getting on some really big shows with them, and I think that's the I guess that's the main thing that's helped us out so far with getting more and more fans, just you know, out of nowhere.
Mm.
Instead of, you know, mutual friends and mutual fans or whatever, like we're getting outside attention, you know.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. And I really admire the work ethic that you guys not only put into the band and the music and like making the music sound as good as possible, but like you say, you got Check 1-2 Productions. I know I met Raph when I was working at the House of Blues, and he was busting his butt there working production and like doing his own acoustic gigs, you know. Like I feel like everything that you can do that connects you to the entertainment industry and getting as much insights and as much experience, that way you can speak their language. So like if there's something that maybe you can't do personally, you can make that connection and find somebody who can help you with that, and you can sort of speak their language and be like, oh, I did something similar on like this area and this level, and maybe you can help me get to the next level, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's all networking, and you know, just kind of, you know, making bridges wherever you can. And like early on, I always thought like in like middle school, I never really knew that other people had the same, you know, hobbies as me, you know, playing rock music. Like I didn't hear about that. Like I just, you know, it was you're in the band or you're playing football or basketball, whatever sports you're playing. But then later, like probably sophomore or junior year, like I started realizing there's a lot of my friends that are in actual bands, and like I took that as a sign to never really just hold on to ideas and talents and interests that you want to bring up in a scenario, or when you meet new people, because they might have the same interest and you might strike up something, you might learn something. You always learn something, right? So
Definitely.
yeah, just never hold in your ideas and you know your views on those types of things, because you never know. And yeah, that's a big thing, that networking, making sure that we get out there on social media and continuously have a presence. So
So I saw a video of y'all talking about y'all's experience in the studio, how like the producer y'all was working with like really pushed y'all to make sure that everything was like as good as it could possibly be. Like I think it was Chubbs, he said something about like he was doing the drum parts, and like if it wasn't perfect, he's like, all right, take it again. We gotta like really pushing y'all to get that high quality.
well, yeah, that comes definitely from a long work history with Brad Lambert and them. They pretty much understand each other without saying anything. Like when they were doing when they were recording the drums and when they were recording everything that I wasn't involved with, I was watching it from the outside, and there was minimal talking. It was like, he'd record a track and then he would say double, then he would say okay harmony, then he would say back. He would say like these small little keywords instead of okay, now we're gonna back that up. Just do the exact, like he wouldn't explain anything. It was just like lightning speed, and if you messed up, he just stopped it, rewound it, and then played it again until you got it right. And for me, it was like, man, I must have sang everything 4 times perfectly, and it takes about 3 or 4 times to get one perfect line out, for Brad to consider that being a perfect line for me. So it was, man, I must have put a ton, like probably like 60 layers on one song of just singing.
Yeah. No, that's really fucking cool. Cause honestly, I've worked with a couple of different people who have helped me record some stuff, and based on their experiences and like what they like have technical knowledge about, you'll get more criticism and more help in certain areas, and then like other areas you won't. So like the last song that I recorded all the parts, vocals, guitar, bass, and drums. The guy who was recording me, he was a vocal teacher at a music school. So when it came to the vocals, like you said, it was like multiple times, a lot of like, hey, let's try this, let's try that, let's get it perfect, right? But then when it came to like drums, on the other hand, I would play something, and drums was my first instrument. So I was a lot more critical on that, whereas he was like, that sounds good to me, dude. And I'm like, nah.
You said that you played the drums, you sang, you did everything on there. So I think it's way easier to work that way than to have like 4 guys in the room telling you what they think. And yeah, it's good to trust somebody like Brad Lambert, because he does a great job. I stopped listening to the EP we put out for a while, and I just started listening to it again, and I still feel the same, that we're probably not going to use anybody else for our music, and it's very, very comparable with some really great stuff that's at a national level. So
definitely, I completely agree 100%. And any of your music that I've listened to, and especially with like it's called A Reason to Burn, right? The
right.
Dude.
Yeah. I was talking mainly like all about like sound quality or whatever, but yeah. Still too, like we worked really hard on the songs, so I think they're pretty good songs, so.
Dude, I think so. All the songs, the sound quality, the that I get from the lyrics, the transitions, like the punches that you get in, like it brings down and then it comes back and just smacks you, bro. Like I swear, like I every time I listen to Matter of Time, it's in my head for the rest of the day. I swear to God. Sometimes I'll even wake up with it still in my head from listening to it the day before. And like some of the other songs, man, like the melodic intent that I can hear in there is just really damn impressive. I swear.
Well, that means a lot, man, because we did sweat over this thing a lot. Yeah. And definitely if you can like walk hard to a song, I think it would be that one. Because it's like the perfect speed to just like I don't know, it's like kind of makes you feel like you're I don't know, like it was written for you, you know what I mean? If you ever, working out or you're listening to it, just it's a good tune. It was actually the first song we ever wrote together. And yeah, I think from there it just got better and better with the way we communicated with each other. And then Raph came in, and it was like, okay, these songs are getting a lot better because we've added an element that kind of made it a little bit better. Not that it was not good before, it's just Raph brings a lot to the table. And yes, of course, like they all do, to be honest. Very lucky.
So the first time I ever saw you guys perform live was actually kind of recently. It was at Chuds and Sam's birthday at Acadia, when y'all had Annova Skyway there and To Whom It May and some other bands, and that show was like the most packed out I had ever seen Acadia. I swear.
Yeah,
I had been doing open mics there for a while, but I went there and I was like, whoa, this is a show. Like,
yeah, well, if you think about it, the combination of certain bands will yield different results, right? And that's the thing, is when we book a good show and we want a really great show, we make sure that all of our fans are compatible with each other. And this was just one of those shows where definitely if you go see a To Whom It May show, you're gonna find people who love Dead Set Red, and if you go to one of our shows, you're gonna find people that love Kerosene Shores. You're gonna find all those people. They have strength in numbers, and that lineup was so great. It was amazing. That's probably the best lineup we ever had.
Definitely, I really appreciate the community that y'all have built as like a group of bands who all mutually respect each other and like cross promote and help each other out. Because like honestly, I went to like the H-Town Awards, I went to the Support Local Music and Awards, and I honestly was kind of almost worried that the Support Local Music Awards at Scout Bar would have an impact on the number of people who showed up because of the show at Warehouse with Hold On Hollywood and you guys. And I was surprised because they had a great turnout there, and then I went and looked online and y'all had such a great turnout with y'all too. So that just goes to show there is so much Houston to go around when it comes to music fans and like people who they just turn out to support if you put out good quality.
Yeah, that show specifically, I was kind of worried about that too. And the thing is that when you have shows in town, that there's like a certain cutoff time, right? Like playing, like you can't play past a certain time, which I think for some venues it still exists to where it's like 11 or something, or 12. But no, we just we had a great opportunity with Hold On Hollywood, and how well that they're doing right now with all the support that they're getting, and their crew is like on top of their game. Like they have a guy for everything, and they're very good at what they do. So it was really good to watch those guys work. They're extremely professional, in how they set up and they perform their shows. So that they had a lot of people there too, and we had T-Flight Captains on the other stage, and Michael Kennedy and all them. Like all those people, it's another example of our fans being super compatible with each other and coming together. And yeah, that competition over there on the south side was like, man, like anybody is gonna go to the award show, right? And you know, we had people leaving at the end of our show to go to Scout Bar. So and some of us went over there too right after we were done.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah. So that was a great night.
Yeah, it was.
I know exactly what picture you're talking about too.
Yeah, it was a huge night for Houston music as far as the bands that I follow, you know, because it was both sides. Everything that I saw afterwards, all the post promotion afterwards with the pictures and everybody like just coming together to support one another. It really made me feel amazing about you know, music in general and the communities that we have, because you hear a lot of people like, especially when big events like that aren't like consistently happening, you hear a lot of people sort of worrying and complaining about drama and about things like maybe people not getting along. But it's really heartfelt to see events like that and be able to participate in things like that where everybody, they set their differences aside to come and support one another and really like appreciate what it is that everybody's doing from each side.
Yeah, it definitely comes with maturity as far as how long we've all known each other, and you know, now it's like respect will get you a lot further, obviously, than being someone who, you know, I'm so blunt. I'll tell anybody, you know, like it is, but in reality, that they're just kind of looking for attention. So, you know, all the drama and stuff that we hear about, it really doesn't come from anybody respectable anyway, to be honest. But you know, but now it's like when I came back after about 5 years of not singing anymore, I came back to a whole new world, I guess, of local music, you know, because people were no longer, you know, bickering back and forth and drama, this and that, and like, you know, like people would like call venues and cancel other bands' shows and like all that stuff. Like before, it was
that is crap. Some undercutted BS right there. That is wrong.
It happened before where, you know, I think I had booked a show with a cover band that I had, and then somebody called the venue and said, "Hi, I'm this person from my band saying we can't play anymore. Sorry." And then that was it. And basically we were out of money that weekend. But like, it was just really like shady stuff going on back then. But like, you know, when I came back into it, it was like very family like, and it just wasn't the same anymore. And then, you know, probably our band has been together for almost like 3 years, I guess now. I don't even remember, but you know, over time, you know, every weekend going out and seeing the same people and you know, you're basically family. Like, you're connected. You see them more than some other people. You see them more than your best friends sometimes, you know, because, you know, oh, we're gonna go to this show tonight, and then once we're done, we're gonna go over to this one, and that was like an every weekend thing. And it's good to see people still kind of sticking together with that. Actually, which brings me to my next little point I was gonna make. This whole COVID thing or whatever, hopefully it's almost done, but we actually have an announcement today about our next possible show coming up in
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's June 5th. So if you go over to Did Sit Red on Facebook, you probably might see it, because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to actually say it now, but you know, it's a show up in the Northwest side. We're gonna announce.
It's on y'all's website.
It should be on our Facebook right now, or maybe not right now, but shoot, I'll look for it too. Hold up. All right. Yeah, I don't know, but that announcement is coming soon. coming out today, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but the next time we're back at Warehouse Live is October 3rd. We're still gonna have the Puddle of Mud Hinder show, and gonna have Tantric and Drowning Pool on that. So that's gonna be a great one.
That sounds sick, dude. So is there anything just to kind of close it off? Is there anything that you'd like to say about like anything that you're excited about, or any words of wisdom to anybody coming up in the game or anything like that?
Yeah, there's so much that it's hard to narrow that down, but I think that the most valuable thing that someone could learn is to be humble and to always learn something from someone, even though you think you know everything, because that is like one of the biggest things I still see today. People, it's not wrong. It's not wrong to see one way as the right way, and then it works for you, and then this other way could have worked for you better. I mean, if you're happy, if you want to take people's advice, it's up to you. But I think the only reason that we've come this far is that we stopped thinking that we were badass and like we were the best or whatever. We don't think that. We think that we are good enough to hang with the best, but we know that we have miles to go. Mm-hmm. We know we ain't shit really, until we are the shit. And even then, there's always going to be some kid coming up to take that spot, so enjoy it while you can. And the only way you can do that is to consistently learn and get better, no matter where you are, so
definitely. I believe that for sure. I honestly, I literally right before this, I was on a call with somebody else, and like we talked for 45 minutes about self-growth and about like trying to make sure that we're like taking care of the fact that we want to stay humble, like you said. And like it's so easy to act out of fear. It's so easy to just like think like, uh-oh, here somebody's coming to try and take what I got. And then you think that you have to come from a perspective of conflict, when in reality, that same person is probably coming up to you trying to help you, trying to say, hey, how can I be of service to you?
Yeah. Well, there's like two kinds of people, I guess. Well, two kinds of people on that side. There's the creative criticism kind of people, and then the people that are there just to hate. And you got to take that hate as a good sign. You have to. Yeah.
How do you take hate as a good sign? Because actually, that reminds me of somebody else that I've been talking to about. She's been dealing with a lot of haters, and that would be something that could be good for me to pay forward, like that perspective of how to take good as a good sign.
Well, this is the thing. Like the reason I say that is because so we put out our music video on Facebook, and then like we got some great feedback, but we also got some negative feedback. But the only reason it's negative is because it was in front of the wrong person. So we've got like straight metalheads who are like, this is gay, or like, oh, this is shit, or whatever, blah blah. And like for me, it's like maybe it is. No, I'm just kidding. Like for me, it's like. Okay, it may be not something they like, but at least they watched it. At least they watched the whole thing.
That's what I think, honestly. I was thinking the same thing the other day when I was having that conversation about haters, was like, are they listening? Are they paying attention? Because I'm like, I don't personally have a bunch of haters knocking down my door, but at the same time, I don't have a bunch of people knocking down my door. So anybody who's got haters, I can't hate them for having haters, because at least they have people paying attention, right?
Yeah. And you know what the comments do? The comments themselves are, that's an attention trigger there too, because when you comment on something, if it's an ad or something, your friends will see that, and then they'll look at the ad. So it's like any kind of tension, any kind of view or like or comment, whether it's positive or negative, is still driving more people to look at it. So yeah, and then, and people that don't have anything nice to say, obviously they're just there to get a rise out of somebody, and it's so much better to not feed into that and retaliate, because then you start to look bad. So let it roll off.
And on that note, we're gonna let this roll. I will talk to you later, man. I appreciate your time, and
thank you for hitting me up, man. This has been great.
yeah, for sure, dude. I've heard nothing but good things about you from anybody I've been talking to. All the people that, like, I've talked to Annova Skyway, I talked to Kerosene Shores, and everybody says, man, Adrian is the man. So keep being the man.
We're just trying to get discounts, man.
That's probably true.
Just kidding. Those guys are great too, and I really don't work with people that are not, easily, that you can't work with them. You know what I mean? There are some people that you won't be able to, but yeah, I would say that I've had very good luck, and I've had very good success just from some hobby I thought about doing one day a couple years ago. So I'm blessed for that.
Alright, man, you have a great day. I'm gonna get to the grind on editing up this conversation. That way I can try and build a radio show around it if you're cool with that. And I'll see you on the flip side.
Yep. All right, man. Well, thanks so much. Later.
See you.